Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So this is a continuation of the previous video where I spoke about a hypothetical situation where I made the CEO of a direct to consumer brand specializing in cosmetics and beauty products. And the previous video, I walked you through a scenario where, I ask a question to the board. Why is it, why are they making me a CEO? What are the KPIs? And it could either be a hyper growth or it could be a sustained growth and profitability, which is the path I explained in the last video. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the hypothetical situation where the path we chose is hypergrowth, and what are we going to do about it, right? So if we choose that the brand has to take the hypergrowth approach, what I would do first is I would look up the balance sheet first. And what's going to happen is I'm going to analyze the company's funds. Does the company have enough funds? And if the company does not have funds, then I would talk to the existing investors and potential investors and get a feel for their sentiment. Are they investing more? If they are, how much would they be investing? And when would they be investing? Now, if the company does have the funds, now, for that hyper growth approach, where are we going to deploy it? Are we going to deploy the funds in the local market? Are we going to have this approach where we're growing in the local market? We're having this really hyper growth approach in the local market, or is it going to be the international market? Now, here's some assumption. It's a very important point, is that for this particular path that, this mind map, this strategic path that we're choosing, we're going to assume that the product quality is constant. There is no change to the product quality. And I'm going to give myself an execution time of 3 months. And the goal is 5x growth. And of course, to be able to achieve this, I will have to decide on a budget, and the budget must be approved by the board. Now, here's one thing. If the company has decided on, if the expansion is going to be international market, I have to ask a question. Have they done that before, right? If they have, then there could be a path where it's a business to consumer. We have to find a business to consumer shipping partner, which is in ideal case it's DHL. They have done this before. They've done this with multiple brands as well. And these shipping partners are very critical because they can guarantee a timely delivery to the customer who is abroad in a different country. That is going to be a very big difference maker for you. Now, if the company has not done an international play at all, and they hired me to be their CEO, and they asked me to give them a timeline in 3 months, it is too short of a time in my opinion. I would not recommend to do this within the next 3 months. You might have to reassess your ad budget for that market, for that product, for that customer base, right? Because it's a whole different audience that you have to set yourself up for. You have to make sure that you have the right resources to cater to that kind of a market, and also analyze the kind of product. Is it going to work? There's a lot of ifs and buts and so on. So, just for the sake of this specific video, I'm going to assume that we will expand on the local market where we do have a lot of data, where we do have a lot of expertise in, and we have done this before. Okay. So, in the local market for the hyper growth strategy, what am I going to do? For the product, I am only going to be working with the highest selling product. Cut down strictly the 50 to 80% of existing non-performing SKU line. Cut it out, chuck it out, don't think about it twice. Okay? Now, advertising. Remember it's a hyper growth. There's very little experimentation we're going to be doing. We're only going to be looking at all the winning things, all the winning streaks that has made this brand survive in the past months and past few quarters, past years. And we're going to double down on what worked. Okay. That is what my approach to hypergrowth is. Now, advertising. What am I going to do with advertising? We're going to do paid ads on social media. And I wrote it in brackets orchestra style, and I'm going to explain that later on. Now, number two with advertising, I'm going to be doing paid partnerships, which is, I'm going to hire influencers. I'm going to do collabs with celebrities, and I'm going to basically have a team pick out the ones whose personality, whose content style goes very well with the kind of product that we have and the product and the branding that we have, right? Number 3, content. Double down on shareable content on social media. Very, very important. And you might not be capable enough or creative enough to do it yourself. You must work with a creative agency who has had the experience working with a product that is similar to yours, and who have obviously whose creative streaks actually align with your with the kind of creativity, branding, and messaging that goes along with your brand, right? Now, number 4 is retargeting and SMS marketing. Very important that you set up automated messages for your existing customer base for conversions. Now, what am I going to do with customer service? I'm going to automate with AI chatbots and live agents for instant problem solving. And whenever there's some sort of an answer, I'm also going to be adding a link to the product that solves that problem. Say, for example, someone is like talking about their dry skin. And these are chatbots that I'm going to train from all my previous answers and previous history of conversations that I've had with my customers, right? I'm going to feed them all up into an AI based chatbot so that the chatbot can learn about the behavior patterns and the way we answer customers. And so for example, someone's asking, they have dry skin, and so what we're going to show is that based on their dry skin, we're going to show up all the products that has a moisturizing feature. And so we're going to tell them about the best practices of this product, that product, drink a lot of water, this and that. And then you showcase that product and you say that this is the product that could potentially solve your dry skin, and then you add a link to that order. Another thing about customer service is that you need to hire a hyper growth customer experience team who have all the product information and who know all the FAQs by heart, and all the FAQs are at the tip of their tongues at all times, because this is what allows for that personalized experience. Always remember the best coffee shop experience or the best barber experience that you have ever had. And these experiences always come from people who remember who you are. They always ask for, do you want the usual? Do you want this? We have some new items that can go well with your taste. Like, they're very well aware with your own approach and your shopping and your tastes, and even your barber, right? Like, kind of haircut you want, kind of beard style you want, or whatever. So that experience you have to make sure you emulate within your brand, and your brand embodies that kind of an experience, and you have to have the people who can deliver that experience, right? And the lastly, for customer service, is you must add a coupon with every product to hook them up for the next purchase. Say, for example, 5% off of your next purchase. Here's a little card. Or you give them a referral. You refer to this card, and you get 20% off or something like that, right? So just to summarize, I wrote a note here. It's like, run ads orchestra style with customer service. Pay very close attention to customer complaints, because these are what makes your brand stand out when you remember them and when you act on them. And must pay attention to the lead time and delivery timeline. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by orchestra style. So essentially what you are is that you have a very sharp vulture like approach on the metrics of running ads every single day. Say, for example, you run 5 ads. You must know which ads are performing really well, which ads are performing subpar level, which perform not performing at all. And you should be able to switch on and switch off every single hour of the day, because you are in hyper growth mode. And that is what I mean by orchestra style. Like, you're just basically, you're running an orchestra and you're dictating what to do with what ads, right? Turn some of them off and so on. Now, what do we do with operations? Operations, there's only one thing, that is fulfillment and shipping. You must partner up with all the 3PLs that can guarantee same day or next day delivery. Because when you're in hyper growth mode, the moment a customer places an order until the point the customer receives the item is what the lead time is, and your lead time must be as short as possible to win over the customer and win over the whole experience and owning the whole experience of the customer. And that is something that can make or break your brand, and you must do this for the next 3 months when you're in this hypergrowth journey. And this is, I think, a very short summary of what I would do. Hope you got some value from it. And if you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.